Okay, students, welcome back to the third semester English class, the one which we have started yesterday, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Let us continue the lesson. So, as you all know, yesterday we happened to introduce the lesson and what is the pre-reading activity involved in that. And we know that it has been written by one of the Nobel laureates of our country, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. And it has been written originally in Bengali and translated in English by Bhavani Bhattacharya. So we see that the title itself is a bit different and unique, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. So the basic essence of the story is about art for art's sake. And he goes on to ask us as part of the reading activity that everything that is useful, does it bring happiness to us? And is everything that is there and that brings happiness, is it really useful? Happy things, do happy things bring usefulness? That is, are they useful? And are useful things so useful that they bring us happiness? Or are they both different? So it is not very much necessary that something which is useful is always bringing happiness to us. And something which makes us happy is always useful for us. So some people generally those attached to science and all, they believe in practical purpose of something, and spending time on art, culture, art and all these, they consider that to be a waste of time. So that is something which is totally waste of time, and one need not really spend so much time on something which is of no benefit for the humanity. So we see that there was a man on the earth who happened to spend all his time in an idle manner, but he was very much interested in art. So he never worked on the earth. He did not work on the earth at all. When he was on the earth, he did not work at all. He was very, very lazy and idle. And after his death, actually, for what all he has done, he has to go to the hell, as it has been believed. But the aerial messenger maybe has done some mistake, and this man was taken to the paradise. And the paradise was the workers' paradise. It was such a paradise that it was a workers' paradise. That is, it is exactly the contrast. The life in the paradise is exactly the contrast for this man, because this man is never used to work. This man was never habituated to do hard work. Whereas in the paradise, every person is so busy that they are always very, very busy. They are running, they are always engaged in some or the other work. So men always say that we don't have a minute to spare. And women always say that time is so precious, we have to do so many things yet. And everybody is going here and there, jostling each other, touching each other, pushing their shoulders and all. Like they don't have any time at all for anything. So they jostle each other and go on doing some or the other work. They don't waste even a single minute. And they say that, oh, we don't have any time at all. We are always doing something or the other. But they are very happy like that. And they cannot be idle at all. They complain that they are always busy, but they derive happiness only in being busy. So that is what is the irony there. And we see that this man who has come to this paradise, it was totally different for him. Like how people are always going on doing something or the other. He used to say, just to sit on the greenery, and farmers used to run and go for work, and they used to always he was on the way for those people, because he was just sitting there, and they all used to look at him in a peculiar manner. How come this man is not doing anything at all? And he was on the way for everybody who is passing there. busily. And we see that there was a girl who was taking a picture and going to the silent torrent. That is the waterfalls from where she used to carry water. Even that torrent is also silent because even that does not believe in making the sound because it amounts to waste of energy. That is what even the torrent feels there. That is how we happen to get onto that. So at that time, we see that this girl went to fill her pitcher with water, and this man happened to see that girl. Even that girl was also not at all looking here and there or wasting time or saying that, oh, I cannot do that or something. So she was always carrying the pitcher and going to fetch the water. So we'll say what was happening here. The girl's movement on the road was like the rapid movement of a skilled hand on the strings of a guitar. So the girl was moving on the road with such perfection that like the rapid movement of a skilled hand on the strings of a guitar. When a person is very, very perfect in playing guitar, the musical instrument, how his skilled hands move on the strings of the guitar. That way, the girl was moving rapidly. Her hair was carelessly done, a few inquisitive wisps flew onto her white forehead to peep at the dark wonder of her eye. Her hair was carelessly done. She was not very much interested in making her hair being very beautiful or something like that. She didn't give much importance to doing her hair properly. A few inquisitive wisps flew onto her white forehead to peep at the dark wonder of her eye. Now the hair was peeping on the forehead to see what are the wonders that are hidden in the eye of the little girl. So this is the description that is being given about the girl. The unemployed man was standing by the fountain motionless. Now the unemployed man had no other work but to stand by the fountain motionless without any movement. As a princess sees a lonely beggar through her window and is filled with pity, the busy girl of heaven saw the unemployed man and was filled with pity. As a princess sees a lonely beggar through her window and is filled with pity. Now, for example, there is a royal princess and who happens to see a beggar through her window. She feels very pitiable for the beggar because the princess never knows what is poverty and the beggar has nothing to eat at all. So she feels very, very pitiable. In a similar manner, the busy girl of heaven saw the unemployed man and was filled with pity. Now, the busy girl who was there in the heaven, she saw the unemployed man and she was filled with pity. What do we understand here? Just as money and food is important for the beggar, similarly, here in the workers' paradise, work is very, very important for the people there. Now, if there is a person who is very idle without any work, people used to look at him pitiably. Oh God, just as we tell about the people who are poor, we say, oh, he's so poor that he doesn't have anything with him. Similarly, this woman, this lady, this girl used to look at the unemployed man as a poor man. So we come to conclusion here about the paradise that the person who has no work is considered as a poor man, not the worker has money or not. But if a person is not working, if a person is not engaged in any work, then quite naturally he can be considered as a poor one. One who is idle is a poor, and that is why the unemployed man was filled with pity. Aha, she said, you haven't any work in hand, have you? So the girl was very curiously asking the unemployed man, don't you have any work on your hand, have you? The man sighed, work? I haven't a moment to spare for work. Now the man looks unemployed and idle, but he says, I haven't a moment to spare for work. I don't have even a single minute to spare for work. The girl did not understand his words, so she said, I may manage to spare some work for you if you like. Now the girl did not understand his words because the girl did not understand his words because The girl happened to see him to be unemployed. But still he says, I don't have a single minute to spare. I may manage to spare some work for you if you like. So the girl says, I will try to manage some work for you. The man replied, Girl of the silent torrent, all this time I have been waiting here only to take some work from your hands. Now the man was saying that, Girl of the silent torrent, all this time I have been waiting only for you in order to take some work from your hands. I was very busy, I was very busily waiting for you in order to see that I can take some work from your hand. She asked, What sort of work would you like? He said, Girl of the silent torrent, couldn't you give me one of your pictures, one which you could spare? She asked. A picture? Perhaps you should like to draw water from the torrent? Now the man was asking the girl, Why don't you give me your picture? Why don't you give me your picture? Perhaps you should like to draw water from the torrent. So the girl was naturally asking, maybe the man was interested to draw some water in the picture. He replied, No, I will draw pictures on your picture. So the man was saying, No, I am not trying to gather water. I am not going to carry water in your picture. But I'll try to draw some pictures on your picture. He says, I'll draw some pictures, I'll do some painting on your container. The girl became annoyed and said, I have no time to waste on people such as you. I am going. And away she went. Now the girl says, No, not at all. I don't have any time to spare for people like you. A picture, perhaps you should like to draw water. So her expectation of the man trying to draw the water was totally wrong. And he said, he was going to draw the pictures. And the girl became angry. And she said, I cannot waste time on people like you. And time is very precious for us here in the workers' paradise. I am going. And away she went. And immediately the girl happened to leave the place. But how could a busy person get the better of one who had nothing to do? How could a busy person get the better of one who had nothing to do? Now the girl was very, very busy. How could she get something better from a person who had nothing to do? He had nothing to do at all. Every day they met and every day he said to her, Girl of the silent torrent, give me one of your. So always he used to say, every day they happened to meet and every day the man was saying, Why don't you give me your picture? Girl of the silent torrent, give me one of your pictures. I'll draw pictures on it. So daily he used to ask, Why don't you give me one of your pictures? I would like to draw the pictures. At last she had to give way and hand him over one of her pictures. So when he went on asking daily, there was no other go for the girl but to give one of her containers, pictures. The man began to paint on it. He drew line after line, he took color after color. Now we already know that this man was very, very artistic, and what he did on the earth was just to go on painting and doing the work of sculpture. So this man was again waiting how to draw pictures, when to draw pictures. So he went on to draw line after line, put color after color. When he had finished, the girl held up the picture and stared at its side with eyes filled with wonder. No, he happened to finish the lines, he happened to finish the coloring, and then he happened to show to the girl. And the girl was very, very astonished to see. She was wondering, her eyes filled with wonder. Then, brows drawn into an arch, she asked, What do they mean, all these lines and all these colors, and what is their purpose? Now, this is what actually the workers in the paradise want. What is all that you have done? What are these lines? What are these colors? And what is the purpose that is being served by these lines, drawings, and the colors? The man laughed. Nothing. A picture never has any meaning and it never serves any purpose. Now the man simply says, as we have discussed earlier, art for art's sake. That is the underlying slogan here. So art is not meant to serve any purpose, but art is just meant to be like that. A picture never has any meaning, it never serves any purpose. There is no compulsion that a picture, a drawing, an art has to conform to certain rules. And there is nothing like that, that it has to serve a purpose. The girl went away with her picture at home, away from prying eyes. She held it in the light, turned it round and scanned the painting from all angles. Now we see that this girl happened to take that picture to the house. She has put it in the focus of the light and she turned it round and here and there she went on to turn. And she went on to look at it because it was something totally different. Never did she see such kind of artistic things in her place. And she scanned the painting from all angles. From all different angles she went on to see the painting. At night she left her bed, lit a lamp and scanned it again in silence and wonder. Now, even during the night when she was sleeping, then also she was unable to understand what could be the meaning behind that kind of painting. So she did not continue her sleep, but she went up and then scanned it again in silence and wondered. For the first time in her life, she had seen something that had no meaning and no purpose at all. So, for the very first time in the life, she happened to see something which has no meaning and no purpose at all. There was no meaning and no purpose at all. Because in the workers' paradise, everybody will do only such things which have got some purpose and which have got some utility. So, this was the first time that she saw something which had no meaning and no purpose. When she set out for the torrent the next day, her hurrying feet were a little less hurrying than before. I can see the change here. Always we were given the description, rapid movement of the girl. Now the very next day when she was about to go, to the silent torrent, her movements were not rapid but slow. Her hurrying feet went a little less hurrying than before. So the feet were not hurrying but they were less hurrying than before. For in her mind thoughts had arisen, thoughts that had no meaning and no purpose at all. Now, this is the basic identity. This is the basic thing that is there in the lesson. So thoughts thoughts happened to come into the mind. Such thoughts which had no meaning and no purpose at all. Something which is unique. That is something which did not happen till that time. There was no meaning and there was no purpose. But even such thoughts also entered the mind, which is totally abnormal for people in the paradise. She saw the unemployed man want from me. Now she happened to see this unemployed man standing near the torrent. And she asked confusedly, "But what? What do you want from me? What exactly do you want? Why are you standing here?" He said, "Only some more work from your hands, and what sort of work would you like?" So he says again, "Some more work from your hands." And then he asked, "What?" She is again cooking. "And what sort of work would you like?" "Let me weave a colored ribbon for your hair, if you will." Now the girl is asking, "Shall I weave a colored ribbon for you? Shall I weave a colored ribbon for you, for your hair? That which will be really very nice." "And what for?" "Nothing." Now here this man again says nothing. The girl is asking, "What for would you like to be gleaming with colors?" We see that the colorful ribbons were made gleaming with colors. Very, very colorful, shining ribbons were made. The busy girl of Workers' Paradise had to now spend a long time every day in trying the colored ribbon round her hair. The minutes slid by unutilized. Much work was left unfinished. So we see the change that has come into the paradise. Now the girl was fascinated at those ribbons, and she used to spend hours in putting the ribbons, and then looking at them. And hours slid by, minutes to hours slid by, and then lot of work was left unfinished. We see that the work began to suffer. Now not everybody is not everybody is looking so good. So we see that not everything was working so well, and the things were working The work was suffering. All agreed that such a thing had far unknown in the history of workers' paradise. Many persons who had been active before were now idle, wasting their precious moments on unnecessary things such as painting and sculpture. So we see that many people who have been very actively involved in work, now they are wasting a lot of time on unnecessary things like painting and sculpture. The elders became anxious. A meeting was called. All agreed that such a thing had so far been unknown in the history of workers' paradise. We see that lot of work got suffered in the paradise, and there was a meeting called for by the elders. And we see that they all of them agreed on one point, that never such thing has happened in the workers' paradise. People were always busy in doing the work, but now they are wasting time on unnecessary things, and there are certain thoughts in the mind which are meaningless and which are not serving any kind of purpose actively. The elders, the Ariel messenger hurried in, bowed before the elders, and made a confession. I brought a wrong man in this paradise, he said. It is all due to him. Now we see that the man, the Ariel messenger who happened to bring this unemployed man, he was summoned and he agreed that he happened to bring a wrong man into the paradise, and it is all because of him that such things are happening. And he says it is all due to him. The man was summoned, he came in. The elders saw his fantastic dress, his paint brushes, his pile of paintings, and they realized at once that he was not the right sort for workers' paradise. Now immediately he was summoned to the place in front of the elders. For the elders he happened to come. He was dressed in very colorful and different kinds of dresses, and the brushes were unique, and there was a pile of paintings. And immediately on looking at him, they realized that he was not the sort of man fit to be in the workers' paradise. Stiffly, the president said, "This is no place for the likes of you, therefore, you'll have to leave at once." Now, the president, the elders, he happened to say that this is not the right place for you, and you'll have to immediately leave at once. The man sighed in great relief and gathered his brush and paint. Now, the man said, "Yes, yes, of course, I'm a misfit here, and I'll have to move on." With a great sort of relief, he gathered his brush and paint. But as he was about to leave, the girl of the silent torrent came up tripping and said, "Wait a moment, for I too will go with you." You see that this man felt relieved, and he said, "Yes, of course, I'll leave." And he was about to take his brush and paint and then leave. And immediately we see that the girl of the silent torrent says, "Wait a moment, for I too will go with you." The girl says, I also will accompany you." That is, we understand that she was fascinated at the kind of artistic things that he has done. And that is why he says, "Even I will accompany." The elders gasped in surprise. The elders were surprised a lot. How come this girl says like that? For never before had a thing like this happened in workers' paradise. A thing that had no meaning and no purpose at all. So they were so surprised because never such things have happened. Never did such thing happen in the workers' paradise. A thing that had no meaning and no purpose at all. So in the workers' paradise, only such things which had some purpose and meaning were happening. But this is the first time such things have happened in the workers' paradise. It shows that art has got that much of importance. Art fascinates the people. Now, here is the conclusion of the lesson. It shows that though there is no meaning and purpose to the art, that is quite very important. Thank you.